Hello, everybody. Welcome to Political Football. Scott and I are here tonight. Cleve won't be able to join us, unfortunately, but we're going to be discussing the upcoming playoff battles here in the NFL for Wild Card Weekend. We're going to make our predictions for the Super Bowl, who's going to win, who's going to play in it, that sort of thing. Scott's excited for that because he can't predict the Dolphins finally. So
I don't think I'm going to get a single one of these even close to right. Not a chance.
Well, in the preseason, my preseason prediction for the Super Bowl was Baltimore versus Detroit. So
I don't recall that. I thought you had the Lions out of the playoffs.
You are correct. I said that Detroit could make it if they made it into the playoffs, but you're right. I had Baltimore versus somebody.
I know that you made the call of a lifetime in the Lions.
I did say the Lions wouldn't be in the playoffs this year officially. I did do that. Yep, you're right.
Dude, the Baltimore thing's weird.
Yeah, so we're actually going to start there. We're going to start with the coaches. Now, we don't need to talk about like too much, like what are they going to do? Who are they going to hire? Because it's more interesting to break down when they actually make the hires. And when we review the divisions, by then the teams will have new coaches.
Yeah.
So it'll make more sense to do it then. But I do want to just note here that we have 7 head coach openings. We know the Giants fired Brian Daboll a while ago, and the Titans fired Brian Callahan a while ago. The Raiders fired Cheaty Pete Carroll after one season. The Cardinals fired shot out of a cannon Gannon after 3 horrendous
Jonathan Gannon.
Jonathan Gannon. The Atlanta Falcons have done Raheem Morris so dirty and fired Raheem Morris. I mean, I think I agree with them, but it's just so horrible.
They didn't really help him.
For him. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they had to fire Terry Fontenot, the GM, and the new GM's going to want to bring his own coach. And Raheem Morris was just like an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
The nonsense happening in Atlanta. And the thing is, their defense was good.
Yeah.
Like, the thing he does was good. I would take the Raheem Morris as DC for the Lions immediately. And I like Kelvin Shepherd. And I like Kelvin Shepherd. And I would launch Kelvin Shepherd out into the street with no apology, no goodbye. I'd mail him his belongings and bring Raheem Morris in. And I'm a Kelvin Shepherd fan. So I think it's really tough for him. The Browns fired Kevin Stefanski, which kind of similarly, I think Stefanski's a better coach than he ever had the chance to prove because he was hamstrung by the Deshaun Watson trade basically his entire time there.
Yeah, and it sounds like he really did not want that.
Yeah. So, if Stefanski gets a second chance somewhere else after another OC stint somewhere, I'm not gonna slam it too much. And then the Baltimore Ravens fired John Harbaugh after 18 seasons. This was one I did not see coming this year. I thought that Lamar, Harbaugh, and Monken would run it back one more season next year, but apparently it sounds like the beef between Jackson and Harbaugh had reached a point to where one had to go, and it's not going to be Lamar.
And it might be a beef between Monken and Lamar too. You know what I mean? Like it sounds to me that Harbaugh was so dug in on keeping Monken that they just couldn't do it. That the decision was made that we can't go forward with them. I don't think that's total speculation, but there's some like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's been a really bizarre year. I know Lamar's been hurt, but there have been moments where it seems to me like he has been. The Detroit game was a bizarre game, as an example.
Right, and he was not
uninterested in some ways, like uninterested in running a little bit and being the dual threat that he really is.
Yeah, I would say he seemed uninterested in putting it all out there for the organization this year.
He did.
Like he was going through the motions.
Yes, and I wonder if it's the contract stuff from last year. They had an opportunity to restructure, re-sign him long term. They did not do it last year. He has like a $74.5 million cap hit the next 2 years. And then like 2 years after that, I think are like void years. So there's an opportunity for them to do some things long term, but they just didn't do it. It just was a strange year. But I didn't think the Harbaugh thing would happen either. But where do you think? Well, you go. You run the show. You do. You go.
I just don't know who they're going to hire that makes them a more likely team to win the Super Bowl in the next 2 years than the guy they already had. Now that could be like
well,
really
did you see the
incorrect.
comment from today that whoever they hired needs to be somebody that kind of reinvigorate Lamar and get him, bought back in? Like,
yeah,
wow, that's not a good statement.
Well, I mean, they're just saying out loud what everybody knows.
I guess.
At this point, you might as well, like, once you made the decision you're going to fire John Harbaugh, it's like, well, he and Lamar aren't getting along. Like, I mean, at that point, the cat's out of the bag.
I suppose.
So I don't have an issue with that. I'm just trying to think about who do they go get, and also how badly did they screw up by not doing this last year and getting Ben Johnson?
I don't know. I don't know if Baltimore was going to be a destination for Ben Johnson. Chicago seems to be the place he wanted to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, but not even have the chance. Like, there's no like prospective new coach this year that has the same pedigree as Ben Johnson going into last year.
There really doesn't feel like it. There's some retreads, and there's some, I don't know. Some of these younger guys are interesting, but like, I don't know. I don't know who's going to end up in Baltimore. I don't, the Giants' job seems kind of intriguing.
I think that the best thing to happen to Baltimore would be that Seattle, like Sam Darnold plays poorly and they lose at home as the number 1 seed.
So Clint Kubiak ends up in.
No, and McDonald goes back to Baltimore.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that, but
because he's like, Sam Darnold's not it. I'm going to where there's a quarterback.
Yeah.
If I can make Boye Mafe an all-pro, I can work with whoever Baltimore has and get this done. Right. So I'm going to where Lamar is. I'm going back to Baltimore, and that's it. I can see something like that maybe. I mean, yeah, like a sitting coach being like, let me out of my contract. I want to go to Baltimore, because you have an MVP quarterback who's 27.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could also see the Bills wanting to move on from Sean McDermott, and McDermott going to Baltimore, and then Harbaugh going to the Bills.
Wow.
Right, I kind of swap coaches.
I kind of penciled in Harbaugh to the Giants. I don't know. I mean, of all the places for him to end up, that seems to be.
Of all the teams that are currently available, I would say the Giants or the Raiders.
Yeah.
Would be the most interesting. Now, Raiders would be cool because then he'd be in the same division as his brother.
Yeah.
And that'd be a good time. Because we can pretty much presume that Fernando Mendoza is a Raider.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So, unless they like Dante Moore or somebody more, but like they're going to get their quarterback.
Yeah.
So they have their quarterback plus Genty plus Bowers. He might be like, oh, that's Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, Lamar again. Let's get it rolling. But I wonder what his thoughts are on Kyler. I wonder if he's like, you know what, I can make Kyler work. I'm going to go to Arizona.
Is Kyler even going to be in Arizona?
Well, I think these things sort of go together.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but like Cleveland wouldn't be a good fit. I don't think Atlanta would be a good fit.
No.
The Giants
is not a good fit.
Pending his thoughts on Cam Ward. If he thinks Cam Ward is that, like if he's like, oh no, Cam, like if he was like, if I was Tennessee's GM last year, I enthusiastically am taking Cam Ward, number 1 overall, done deal. So, if he's got that feeling of Ward, then maybe. But yeah, I think for him, Raiders or Giants is the way to go. Now the Giants, of course, are too busy giving interviews to Mike McCarthy. So
unreal.
Yeah. Now I know the Rooney Rule, where you have to interview a minority for a head coaching position. But is there also a Woody Johnson loser rule where you have to
Is
interview
there a
losers
dust
like Mike
ball
McCarthy?
adjacent rule?
Exactly.
Yeah.
why are we interviewing Mike McCarthy for head coaching jobs in 2026?
I saw Jason Garrett was getting an interview too.
Yeah, it's Tennessee though, so that's just par for the course. That's probably the worst job in the league. So you gotta. Yeah, Tennessee's probably the worst job in the league.
Currently, yes.
Yeah,
like
either them or Jacksonville, I think. Just the AFC South in general.
Yeah, I mean, of the 7 openings, I think they're clearly Tennessee is the worst situated big picture. Although Cleveland's not situated all that well either, but they do have picks and I don't know. Uh-oh.
Okay, so I just pulled this up here so we have the visual as well while we're talking. So it's the bracket for the playoffs here as we get going on this. Now we're going to go through the games in the order that they're going to be played.
Okay.
So we're starting Saturday at 4:30, 2 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday, and then a Monday nighter. I don't really understand why some of these games are on the day that they're on and in the time slot they're in, but you know what? The NFL doesn't ask me for my opinion on these things. So,
yeah.
Let me just see if I can do one thing here real quick.
I was going to say, can you make it a lot smaller? Just kidding.
Hang on.
No, I think that's good.
Let me tech Lord 1 second. That one. Okay, yeah, that gets them all still on the screen, and we're not going to be like writing on here. It's just for us to be able to see in the audience, be able to see the things and all that's that. Good. So, the first game Saturday at 4:30, I think is going to be a very good game. The Los Angeles Rams at the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Rams beat the Cardinals 37-20. Stafford threw 4 touchdowns to lock up the number 5 seed. I think Stafford also locked up the MVP in that game. Fraudulent. In my opinion, I think Drake May should clearly be the MVP this year, but I think they're going to go Vrabel Coach of the Year, Stafford MVP. He's going to it's going to be like the Ron Dane Heisman Trophy Career Memorial Award for Stafford. And then the Panthers did everything they could to not win this division. It had to come down to Saints versus Falcons on the final day, and I believe it was the Falcons winning.
Yeah.
Won it for the Panthers. So the Panthers are 8-9 and get to host the playoff game. By all the advanced metrics, the Rams are one of the 2 best teams in football. This is going across the country to play a team that already beat them once this year. Yeah. I think the Panthers are going to be competitive in this game and lose like a 31-21.
I think that's reasonable. I mean, the context around their first matchup is a little bit bizarre. Stafford threw a bunch of picks. There was a batted ball, pick 6. Chuba Hubbard scored on like a screen pass that was kind of a give up kind of play. They were just settling on a field goal, and he scored. And it's just, but the Rams are really good. But Carolina did beat them like a month ago. So, I don't know. The travel thing is a problem for the Rams. This is the one of the 2 matchups that in the first round where I feel pretty confident about making the pick. But that's it. That's it. Like, I think the Rams win this game pretty easily.
I am very confident in picking the Rams to win. I don't think that the game is going to play in the way you would think, given how confident I am that the Rams are going to win.
Yes. Yeah, I think
like this
fair.
is not going to be a 56-10. Like they are not going to roll there and just stomp them. Like the Panthers are going to show up here. They're going to
they'll be a little push. They're gonna fight. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if the Panthers are playing the Packers, I think they might even win. I just think the Rams are too good.
The Rams are really, really good.
Yeah.
They are.
I have a $5 parlay, just 2-leg parlay on underdog. $5 to win 950, 2 legs. The first leg, Ted McMillan, 2 or more touchdowns.
Okay.
Yep.
What's the second leg?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll get there. The next game, Saturday at 8:00, the Green Bay Packers, the 7 seed at the 2 seed Chicago Bears. Now, last I looked, the Packers were favored by a point.
I saw 1.5, but yes. Yeah. I was floored by that.
Yeah, I was going to say Scott I know I'm the gambling guy, but you're like the football guy. Why in the world are the Packers favored on the road in Chicago without Micah Parsons in this matchup?
I don't know, other than how badly the Packers outplayed the Bears in both their matchups earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
But no Parsons, like, I don't know. I don't want to take the Bears in this matchup. It gives me the ick kind of thing.
Well,
but I don't want to take the
offline,
Packers either.
yeah, offline, I was in our chat thread. I was talking to Alex about a playoff best ball lineup he drafted, and I was like, I don't like it because it requires the Packers to beat the Bears. And I think the Bears win 80% of the time. I turn around and the Packers are favored.
Yep.
So I respect the market a lot. I feel like when the market, such a fluid market or such a liquid market, is so strongly against me, I'm probably the one that's wrong.
Well,
right?
so I wonder if the market is, I don't want to say overthinking, but Caleb Williams has not been in, it's not like he's played in big football games before. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but the thing about the NFL sides and totals market is that it's so liquid, it can't overthink. Right? It will just always return to the median. Like it can't
but
be
is that the
swayed
median?
by.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, the line that it might open with a bad line. It might open Packers -4.5 and come down to -1.5 or something. But it's been long enough now. Like where it is now is where it is, pending any sort of new information. It's not going to swing the Bears -2 unless Jordan Love is ruled out or something, right?
Yeah, there's no
And so,
injury that we know of.
but I would have the Bears favored by 4.5. So like in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm so far off from this well-established strong market. What am I missing? So I've been racking my brain to prepare for the show to figure out what it is that I'm missing. And I can't come up with anything.
I think it's literally the concept of Caleb Williams showing up in week 1 of the playoffs against a team he has struggled with twice this year is something that is baked in the cake. It's the only thing that I can think of that. I mean, I don't think the Packers are a good football team, and clearly, minus Micah Parsons, it's a problem. But are they better situated to win a one-off, even on the road? Maybe. They've been in this. I mean, Jordan Love's been here before, but as I say that, it doesn't make a ton of sense coming out of my mouth. It just doesn't.
So what's interesting is that if the Packers had beaten the Cowboys instead of tying, they'd be 10-7 instead of 9-7-1, and they would still be the 7 seed. And the Bears are 11-6.
Yeah.
So by record, there's not much to separate these two. Plus, the Packers beat the Bears both times in the regular season.
Yes.
But to me, having seen the Packers now try to play defense without Micah Parsons, it is very clear that this is not the same squad.
No, it's not. But is it enough to beat a team like Chicago in their first run, into the playoffs with this quarterback? Maybe.
Man, Soldier Field's going to be insane too.
It is going to be crazy in Chicago. It is. It is. I mean, the Bears fans hate the Packers the way we hate.
Yeah, they hate the Packers the way we hate Ohio State.
Yeah,
they hate the Packers. Like, could you imagine a college football playoff game of Michigan, Ohio State in Ann Arbor?
No, no. It would be nuts.
Right. It would be absolutely unhinged. And I feel like that's what we're going to get here. You're telling me if this game was in Green Bay, you would take the 3 points the Bears are getting, give them to the Packers. It'd be Packers -4 if this game was in Green Bay. I'm just not buying it. I'm literally not buying it. I'm going to take the Bears on the money line, not for anything crazy, but my standard bet is like $5. That's 1 unit for me. I'm going to put like 25 on the Bears money line. I think a 5-unit bet. I just cannot see football wise why the Bears are an underdog here. I've been racking my brain. I was hoping you'd say something very obvious to me.
I got nothing. Because I was floored when I saw it too. Like, there's something wrong with that number.
No,
but you're right. I mean, there's so much money. There's so much money on this that it can't. Like,
it's right.
The number is what it is.
Right. If we were to be looking at I don't know, the third division of English soccer, and we saw a line that we thought was weird, it'd be like, well, maybe one big time person has a model and put £1.5 million on, Yeovil to beat Wigan or something. You know what I mean? And it moved it. But the NFL, that can't happen. It's too liquid. So the line represents like the average of all, and like the, all that. Packers by 1.5 is where people have settled. I like I said, I really respect the market. Through all of our arguing in the offseason, I cite the market for guiding my thoughts and predictions. I think the Bears are going to win this game more easily than the Rams are going to beat the Panthers.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to take the Packers. I mean, the Bears too, just because I don't. Well, I'm going with you. I'm going to take the Bears too. Because I just don't. I'm not sure there's a good reason to take the Packers. There just isn't.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'd have an easier time seeing if it was San Francisco. It's like, okay, well, they've been playing for most of the year without Bosa and Warner. They're kind of used to it. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it here, and I'm willing to admit I'm blind to whatever it is. If anybody in the YouTube comment sees this and they want to say something, maybe I'll throw this up on TikTok tomorrow and tag it in Green Bay and let the Packer fans tell us. But I'm just not seeing it.
How about we not do that?
It's almost assuredly happening now.
Oh no.
the second leg of the 2-leg parlay, $5 to win $9.50 on underdog. Colston and Loveland, 2 or more touchdowns.
Yeah.
2 for Tet, 2 for Colston Loveland. Give me my grand.
That's a giant bet, but it's not like it's totally out of the realm.
That's an insane payout for that bet, in my opinion.
It is a crazy number, yes.
That shouldn't be that's like, there's no boost on that. There's no bonus.
Yeah.
That's just a straight up number.
Yeah, that's a big payout. I hope you get it.
Yeah, I will take that for sure. Moving on to Sunday, 1:00. Buffalo at Jacksonville. Now, I just want to say this should be the Monday night game.
Yeah, this is a nice matchup, but
yeah, this is a great matchup. This game is exactly 50-50 in my opinion. But
what's the line in this one?
I actually don't know. I only know the Packers and Bears one because of the thing. But to me, this is a 50-50 matchup. I think Jacksonville is clearly the better team, which seems an insane thing to say out loud. But Josh Allen is by far the best player in this game.
Buffalo is favored by 1.5.
See, that I get.
Also is like, huh?
See, that I get, because that would just be like Josh Allen. If Josh Allen was the quarterback of the Packers, I was like, oh, Packers minus 1.5. I see it.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, it is Josh Allen, and yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a true toss-up game, and it really just hinges on what Josh Allen we get here. But we're going to need Superman Josh Allen for the Bills to win this one. Jacksonville is a Super Bowl ready team, and if they still had Travis Hunter, I'd probably take them out of the AFC.
We're going to end up coalescing on the same team coming out of the AFC. I got vibes about it. I do.
I don't think we are.
You don't have Houston advancing all the way?
You serious? They're taking the Texans?
I think so, yeah. So are you.
Seriously?
Yeah, so are you. I know you are.
Excuse me, David Blaine. How'd you do that?
I don't know.
I mean, I suppose if he shaved his head, you look a little like Penn Jillette. I mean, I don't know how you pulled this off. But yes, I have the Texans out of the AFC, and so do you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll get there, but
do you have the Texans playing the Rams in the Super Bowl?
I do not.
Okay.
I was for sure thinking there was no way that Scott is taking the 5 seed Houston Texans with their offensive line to the Super Bowl. But
it's their defense. We'll get
there. We'll get to them. I'm just shocked that it was that we're on the same page there. Back to Buffalo at Jacksonville. I will say easier for Houston to make it if Jacksonville wins this game. Because if Houston's calling card is their defense, the one player that can overcome that is the insane superhuman quarterback that Buffalo has.
Yeah.
The thing in this game that really has me is that the Bills' run defense is giga ass.
Yeah,
Mega ass.
The Josh Allen foot injury, I think is it's impactful. It is, like how much I don't know, but if he doesn't give them, like you said, a Superman performance, that's tough.
Well, the other thing is that Trevor Lawrence could lose, like he's capable of losing games.
Yes,
Trevor Lawrence and Sam Darnold are the same person. Like Trevor Lawrence could dust off a couple picks here and
oh yeah, he could throw a couple pick sixes early and he just that's that. Yeah.
Yep, that could easily happen. I just think that Travis Etienne 100 plus a touchdown seems like a pretty solid prediction for this game. And in a game where that happens, Jacksonville wins at least 50% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Yeah, this is going to be, and the thing too is that people are going to be taking Buffalo at too high of a rate. Like in playoff best ball tournaments, FFPC, all those sorts of things. So just fading Buffalo in general is a good way to do it. I'm helping Jake with the contest. He's going to shit himself when there's no Bills showing up.
Well, I mean, it gives you an instant advantage if that's your outcome.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe. Because Josh Allen could go for 40 points in a loss.
That's true.
Like, I wish I had Allen. Right?
That's true.
So,
yeah.
The Sunday afternoon game, 4:30 p.m., 49ers, the 6 seed, 12-5 at the Eagles, 3 seed, 11-6. I don't have any qualms about this game. I am very confident in the outcome of this game.
And
the Eagles will win this game.
I think that's probably the most likely outcome.
I think the Eagles will win this game relatively handily. And I think that because if you remember the preseason, I said the 49ers would be the 1 seed in the NFC because they got what the Lions get this year, where they were a good team, had some injuries, finished 4th in their division, pick up that 4th place schedule, and played nobody outside their division. Now, their division of being very tough.
Yeah.
But they racked up a lot of wins against some bad teams where losing Bosa and Warner didn't really expose them that much against Tennessee and the Giants and, whoever else they played. Against the Eagles, it's finally going to expose them.
And weather.
Those two players at
Cold.
once. Yeah. This is where they get exposed. This is going to be a vintage Saquon game. Saquon's going for 150 and at least one, maybe two. Maybe it's 150 total yards between receiving, but it's going to be a vintage Saquon game. The Eagles are going to handle the 49ers in this game because they're finally going to get exposed for their soft schedule. And finally, like missing Bosa and Warner, you don't go on the road and beat good teams in that situation.
No, and it just, like as much as we've kind of giggled at what's going on in Philadelphia, they're good enough. They're good enough to snap off San Francisco at home, in the weather, and they just are.
Yes. Now, importantly for the Eagles, if the Packers beat the Bears, the Eagles host the game in the second round as well.
Yeah.
So, and it would be the winner of the Rams Panthers.
Yeah.
Because the Packers would go to Seattle.
Yep.
So, I think that the Eagles just through the fact that the Packers are favored are kind of set up kind of nice for this. They get San Francisco coming across the country into the bad weather. Then they would get the Rams coming across the country in bad weather.
Yeah.
Right? If the Bears beat the Packers, the Eagles go to Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Right? I think Eagles to the NFC title game is the easiest path anybody has to a title game outside of Denver. You see what I mean? Like they either get a home game against a cross country.
Wouldn't Denver get Houston in round one if Jacksonville beats Buffalo in our scenario?
Or they'd get the Chargers. Yeah, or the Chargers if the Chargers beat the Patriots.
Wow, I'm sorry, Jake and Liam. I blanked that the Chargers were even in. They're not even a part of this.
Wow. Holy
That's
crap.
so offensive, and I didn't really mean it to be. Oh my God. That's embarrassing. Wow, I just figured they were out.
That's like at the end of Winter Soldier when Iron Man is in the prison there. Or Ant-Man's in the prison and Iron Man comes walking by and Ant-Man's like, yeah, good job, Iron Man. And Stark goes, who are you? Same energy. Like,
oh, what a jackass.
Wow. Okay. Yes. I think the Broncos are a great matchup for Buffalo, which is why I don't think their path would be that hard if they got Buffalo. I think Buffalo ends at Denver, even if they beat Jacksonville. So, but on the NFC side,
yes,
the Eagles either get a home game against cross-country Rams or the Panthers, or they go to Chicago.
Either way, it's good for Philly.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they win their game and the Seahawks lose, they host the NFC title game.
Yeah. Is Darnold gonna turn into a pumpkin again?
What if he does it against home to Philly in the NFC title game?
He could.
I think you know where I'm going with my NFC pick here, right?
Yeah, Philly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Sunday night, 8:00. Absolutely no reason this is the primetime game. This is absolutely absurd. 7-seed Chargers, 11-6, who are in the playoffs, Scott, at 2-seed New England, 14-3.
Again, Jake and Liam, I'm sorry. That is embarrassing. I mean, it's funny, but it's embarrassing too.
This should be the Sunday 1:00 game.
Yeah.
Now,
this could even be the Saturday 4:30 game.
Well, I don't think they want to kick off the playoffs with something so lopsided. And I can see why they don't want to have the Chargers play at 10 a.m. their time. So I do understand that a little bit, but this is just going to be a primetime showcase for Drake May, in my opinion. I just don't see the Chargers having the horses or the ability or the mindset in this weather. Their coach does, but I don't know that the team, this is not a Jim Harbaugh team yet. This is still a Los Angeles team. This is not the show up in the cold weather in a gritty, grinded out underdog situation. I think New England rolls here pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one could, to me, it could be closer, I guess, but it's just tough to forecast the travel, the context in and around, the weather environments and all that stuff. Missing both their tackles is just obviously something that they've overcome to get to this point, but that's tough. It's tough. And then the Drake May stuff, he's played, it's been a magical season for him. I'm with you. I have New England winning that matchup and not being like a super tight game, but probably a little closer than what you do, but still not crazy close.
I mean, all the teams left in the playoffs now are some kind of good. I think the Chargers will win this game by as much as you would reasonably expect in a playoff. Not the Jacksonville, Miami 60-2 that we got.
The Chargers?
The Patriots. Like the Patriots are going to win this game 31-17, but it was really 31-10 for most of the game.
Okay, yeah.
Right. The Monday nighter, 8:15, 5-seed Houston 12-5 at 4-seed Pittsburgh 10-7.
Aaron Rodgers is in trouble.
I only see this game going one of two ways, but you go first.
I don't know how. I don't know what Pittsburgh's going to be able to do on offense, with the exception of dump offs to Kenny Gainwell and maybe little some tight end stuff because they run so much heavy tight end action. I don't know how Pittsburgh handles that defense. That defense is ferocious. And then, as much as I've bagged on that offensive line, Houston's handled it. They've been okay offensively. They've been good.
I think that Aaron Rodgers is the right type of quarterback to frustrate the Houston defense because he will hold the ball for 1.5 seconds max on every single drop back.
That's probably true.
So I see this game going one of two ways. Either Houston is able to win an AFC North style road game. They'll win it the way you would see Baltimore or Cleveland winning at Pittsburgh. Or the Steelers are going to kick the ever-loving shit out of Houston. Like, they will be able to negate the thing Houston does best and just be like, your pass rush will not affect us, and we're going to win 28-10. Because TJ Watt's still getting to your guy.
That has never entered my brain. But that doesn't mean anything. It's just... Pittsburgh advancing has never been a thought. I mean, that's been less of a thought than whether or not the Chargers were in.
I could see this game getting out of hand in Pittsburgh's favor, simply because they have this sort of offense that can do good negate. Warren and Gainwell are both good in the passing game. They've got 4 different tight ends that they can play.
Yeah.
I think that Pittsburgh could match up well here, and they're at home and just roll Houston here. But if they can't, if this game is close, it's close because that pass rush is getting home, either sacking Rodgers or giving him trouble. We know he doesn't want to get hit. So he's getting hit. And then we get a close game. I think Houston's the better team, and they end up winning a closer, hard-fought game. And I think that happens more frequently than the other way. But in scenarios where Pittsburgh wins this game, I think they win this game. Like, where did that come from?
Yeah. I mean, I think Houston kind of runs away with this one, but what you're saying is reasonable. It's not unreasonable. What you're saying probably happens a lot more than a lot of people want to think.
Yeah, the Houston running away with it. I don't see Houston having the offense to go into Pittsburgh and run away with it based purely on their offense. And I don't see Rodgers giving away cheap turnovers, pick sixes, that sort of thing. So unless we get a couple Warren fumbles, DK Metcalf is good for a fumble on a catch and run or something, but I just don't see, Houston's got this record because they force quarterbacks in making mistakes, and Rodgers is what he was, but he still is not mistake prone.
No, he's not, but this is, we'll see. It's just, I don't know that Pittsburgh's seen this defensive line and what Houston does. But, Rodgers is still a pretty capable, effective player. It's just that their scheme it just prevents him from holding the ball. Like you're saying, they get rid of the ball super fast. I don't think they're going to run the ball at all effectively against Houston at all. So anything they do, not to me, this is an opinion. Anything they do is going to be driven by their passing attack. Mm-hmm. And I just, it's third and long. Our third and long scenario is good for Pittsburgh against this defense. No, not at all. But if they can avoid those, like you're saying, the dink and dunkin' kind of stuff, maybe they don't have to get into that kind of environment. And, it's not out of the realm.
This is the sort of game where the Steelers really wish they still had George Pickens. Yeah. So that they had 2 giant slant merchants, and Stingley can only stay with one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But now Stingley on Metcalf the entire game, no matter where he goes, and you're looking at Calvin Austin.
Yeah. Or the tight ends. Then
I was going to say, Freiermuth over receptions, probably not bad for this one.
Yeah.
Or Jonnu, pick your flavor. Yeah. Probably not bad for this one, but I think this game is going to be close with Houston winning. That is what I see happening. But if we're here next week talking about a Pittsburgh win, we're talking about like a 28-13.
Yeah.
Be like, what happened to Houston? They had this great defense, and
Yeah.
We could just see it coming that way. So now we're going to get into the predictions for the Super Bowl. Did Cleve ever get back with his NFC pick?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. In which case, we're just going to pick the Panthers for him.
Okay. I like it. I don't see him making a pick.
Yeah, he did not pick the his NFC. Cleve has Denver, the 1 seed in the AFC, going through to the Super Bowl. He did not pick an NFC team. And I'm trying to think what the most hilarious, given his takes, would be. It's definitely Chicago. So we're going to give him Chicago because he does not like Caleb Williams. So this will force him into changing his tune there. So we're going to give him Denver, Chicago for that reason. We'll give him Denver with the win there. Now, Matty Ice. In our offline chat, I asked for these predictions. And Matty Ice goes Eagles, Texans. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Here I'm showing up with this original take.
Yeah.
That's going to be out there. I also have Eagles, Texans with the Eagles winning. I just see the path for the Texans. So if they win in the first round as the 5 seed.
Yep. Then they're going.
We're going to presume New England wins. I think New England wins often enough to where we don't have to think about the Chargers for this exercise. Sorry, Liam and Jake, but not really. So if Buffalo beats Jacksonville, Buffalo goes to Denver, Houston goes to New England. Now that is a situation where their defense could dominate because New England has Will Campbell and 4 Uber drivers on the offensive line. And Drake May is the MVP, but he is not Aaron Rodgers in protecting the football. Nor does he have any sort of pass catcher that's to the level of a DK Metcalf to bail him out. I could see Houston going in there and doing the business. Right. And then they either go to Denver, same sort of idea as going to New England. Denver has much better offensive line, but Bo Nix is nowhere near as good as Drake May. Or Buffalo has to go to Houston. I don't think Houston's path is that difficult. And if you look at odds to actually make it to the Super Bowl, Houston and New England have the same chance to make it.
Yeah.
And that's given New England a almost bye in the first round.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I think Houston has kind of at some point in time they're going to have to play Denver, right? You would think.
No, if the Bills could go to Denver and win, and then Houston would host Buffalo in the AFC title game.
Yeah, boy. I suppose if we're doing anything is possible. Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that if the Bills and the Chargers won, Houston would host Buffalo in the second round. Sort of insane.
Yeah.
But, theoretically it's possible. I just don't think that at Pittsburgh, at New England, at Denver is insane for that defense.
So I just have it. I guess I have Houston beating Pittsburgh and then Houston playing Denver in the second round.
Right, because you have Jacksonville winning. So you have Jacksonville playing New England.
And then I'm thinking if New England beats Jacksonville, you got to go through, you'd have to go through Denver, the 1 seed, maybe the 2 seed. You know what I mean? I know stylistically it's okay, but that's still, it's a bit of that's a rough road.
So take a look at the AFC here, just the teams on the AFC side. The single best footballing thing that any of them has is Josh Allen. The second best thing that any of them has is either Sean Payton as coach or Houston's defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, Houston's defense is the only reason that I'm even remotely, thinking about them.
If we flipped Houston and Jacksonville, right? And Jacksonville Houston wins the division. So they're hosting Buffalo in the first round.
Yeah.
You would take them over Buffalo, right?
Yeah, I probably would.
Right. So if they end up catching Buffalo at home in the AFC title game,
yeah,
right? You take them there. Not insane, right? The thing is, Houston may not need to be the one to go after Denver, right? Buffalo.
If that happens, then yeah, they look good,
right? If I'm trying to think of how this could have worked out, if Houston had won the division and the Bills had won the division, so Houston is hosting New England in the first round, who would you take?
Houston hosting New England in the first round?
In the first round. Mm-hmm. So the Bills would be the 2 seed hosting the Chargers, right? We're just flipping the division winners here.
Yeah. I would probably take Houston at home.
So what I'm saying is that, like, if we're Houston at home in the first round, is a take Houston. Houston winning at New England in the second round is not insane.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just it's a tougher matchup just from
and this is also a scenario to where, given the way Houston plays football, bad weather in Boston might help Houston more.
Potentially, yes.
If they have to take the air out of the ball, that might actually help the Texans. Because even if they have to do that, I'd rather throw jump balls to Nico Collins than to Stephon Diggs or Kayshon Boutte.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think Houston is the second most well-rounded team in the conference playoffs behind the Broncos.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'm taking Houston for that reason. I think they're like, nobody in the AFC has a clean path because you're either good and have to play Buffalo, or you're Buffalo and have to go on the road consistently.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody's got a clean path. But since nobody has a clean path, who has the best chances to avoid Buffalo or catch Buffalo at home after Buffalo's eliminated somebody else? It becomes Houston.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose New England could get that sort of gift.
So New England gets that gift if Houston loses in the first round.
Yeah.
If the Steelers win and the Bills win, New England gets to host Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but if the Bills win, they go to Denver, right? We just assume they go to Denver, then New England would host Houston.
Correct. And I think that's a tough matchup for New England, as we just established.
Yeah.
Right. In a scenario where the Steelers win and the Jaguars win, then New England hosts Jacksonville and the Broncos host the Steelers.
Yeah.
In which case, the Broncos become massive favorites.
Yes.
Because Jacksonville's much more likely to go into New England and win.
Yeah.
Than the Steelers are to go to Denver.
Yeah.
If the Bills win and the Steelers win, now New England gets the Steelers and the Bills go to Denver and New England gets that path. Right. That's why I think Houston is this sort of, they feel like almost this middling team, but I don't think they are. I think that it goes, in this conference, it goes Denver, New England, Houston.
There's so many ways this could go, but like, I mean, I think the way you were talking earlier about the most well-rounded teams, Houston, because of the things they do with that defensive line, I think they're going to be tough for anybody. I really do. I can't see Pittsburgh giving them much of a fight, but I know you talked about it. It's reasonable. It just, I don't know.
So
it's crazy
I'm taking
that we both ended up there.
Who are you taking out of the NFC?
That's a tough one. It's either Seattle or the Rams, and I'm, as much as it pains me to say it, I'm going to take Seattle. I know it's nuts.
Well, it's not nuts because they get to play one fewer game than everybody else. So taking the 1 seed is never nuts. Just having to play one fewer game. Like if we did this right now and we just made the Tennessee Titans the 1 seed in the AFC, they still make the Super Bowl like 20% of
Yeah.
So the first round bye is a massive thing to have.
It is
so great. The Lions punted it last year. I'm not still thinking about that every night.
Let it go.
So Seattle's path. If the Packers do beat the Bears as favorites, the Packers go to Seattle. And unless Sam Darnold starts seeing ghosts, the Packers do not win in Seattle.
No.
So in that way, I'm with you. It's almost like a double bye.
Yeah.
If that were to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
However, if that doesn't happen, if the Bears win, Seattle brings in either the 49ers, Panthers, or Rams, and most likely the 49ers or Rams. So that I'm bringing in a division opponent who's just as good as them. Those three teams are all kind of even.
Yeah.
Into a place like the home field advantage is huge in Seattle, but these teams are used to it.
Yeah.
They're going to feel prepared for this rematch again.
Yep.
That to me, like the Bears beating the Packers makes the Seattle path so much more difficult.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is going to happen. So for me, I don't have Seattle for that reason.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. Whereas to me, the Bears beating the Packers has no bearing on the Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh, the Eagles go to the Bears. Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter much. Yeah.
But if the Packers do beat the Bears, then the Eagles would host the Rams or 49ers. So again, they get the cross country matchup, bad weather there as well. So I just don't see a scenario where the Eagles
would host the Rams in that scenario, right?
Yeah, because it would have beat the 49ers already. So they'd host the Rams or the Panthers. But either way, like yeah, they'd host the Rams. The 49ers would be out, of course. So they would host the Rams in that scenario. So either way, I see the Eagles having at worst an even matchup. Going to the second round or hosting the Rams with an advantageous matchup. And if the Eagles host the Rams and the Packers go to the Seahawks and the Packers happen to win, and now the Packers are going to the Eagles,
Philly, yeah.
I just think it worked out so well for the Eagles here. Plus, they made the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 3 years. The defending champs. The moment's never going to be too big for them.
No, for sure. I mean, all that stuff. I think it's of the 7 teams in the NFC. I think Philly has the best chance of all of them to get to the Super Bowl. They just do. Because of the path you're talking about. I think the team with the best defense though is Seattle. And I guess maybe I'm just stuck on the concept of picking the teams that play the best defense. To me, that's Houston and Seattle.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I would just say that I think that to correlate predictions, if you're going to take Seattle to the Super Bowl, you should probably take the Packers to beat the Bears. Because then Seattle gets the Packers in the second round. It just becomes that much easier for them.
No, for sure.
To do it.
Yeah.
That's
the thing is, I don't know. I mean, the first thing we talked about was just the Packers and the Bears. And to me, it's like, I have no idea. Flip a coin. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But a Seattle Super Bowl scenario really is strengthened by it coming up heads for the Packers.
For sure. And if I really thought that the Bears were going to put together like a dominant performance in week 1, I would not pick this. I would not have landed on Seattle. I just wouldn't have, because it's just like you're saying, it's a lot tougher, but that doesn't mean I think the Packers are going to win. I don't know. It just.
Now, last thing here before we get out of here, we're going to be out of here about 8:30 tonight, but we picked what we think the Super Bowl is going to be. But now tell me what you want the Super Bowl to be.
Honestly, I would love the Rams to play Buffalo.
Okay.
That would be a fun game. I don't have any attachment to Buffalo. I could really care less, but I don't think it's a bad thing for a team in a city like Buffalo to get a chance to win. I mean, this is the chance. I mean, there's no Burrow, there's no Lamar, there's no Mahomes. This is it, right? Drake May will have his time. How old? Josh Allen's 29, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think he just turned 30.
Okay,
or he'll turn 30 right before next season.
So this is the chance for them, but they have to go on the road. I like the concept of. I think it would be crazy if like Chicago were to play the Rams. If Chicago were to play Buffalo in the Super Bowl, something like that, where it's way too soon for a team like Chicago, but I don't know, but I think Buffalo. It'd be fun to watch Buffalo win a Super Bowl. It just would. I think that's the Detroit stuff in me, though. Like sometimes feeling like these teams deserve something. It's just this. If Buffalo wins a Super Bowl, the Lions can too, I guess.
So here's the thing. I don't want the Lions being the last team to win a Super Bowl, so I would be rooting for the Rams in that case.
I wouldn't mind. To me, it wouldn't matter. That's a fun Super Bowl, and if the Rams and Stafford get another one, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
To me, he's the MVP. So I mean, I know that we'll disagree there, but
yes, absolutely fraudulent.
Why?
Because Drake May is clearly the MVP. I mean, if you put Drake May on the Rams, they're still the Rams. If you put Matt Stafford on the Rams, or on the Patriots, they go 9-8. Like Drake May lifted that team from total puke garbage. Like he exploded to be so good this year. Like this is the Mahomes second year, Lamar second year MVP. It's the same thing, and he deserves it. Like give this dude his MVP. He absolutely has earned it. He's the MVP of the league. There is no single player more valuable to his team. Matt Stafford is he's the third best player on his own offense.
Okay.
Puka Nacua is more valuable to the Rams.
Okay.
Not than the backup for the Rams. Obviously, if you bring in the backup quarterback, but I mean, like, you'd rather have Dak Prescott and Puka than Stafford and just Devontae, is what I'm saying.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
New England, he had kind of a historic year, but okay, it's cool.
Yeah, so historic. They got the 5th seed.
He doesn't play defense.
Don't they have the defending defensive rookie of the year on defense?
I think they do, but I don't know what they got going on.
Yeah. For me, the most fun Super Bowl and one that I think is really, really possible, it would be so amazing. Chicago versus Jacksonville.
That would be fun.
That would be so great. The hype leading up to it would be crazy because I know the Bears have a Super Bowl, but at this point, they're basically the Jets. Like, yes, you won one, but everybody
isn't that 40 years ago?
It is 40 years ago now. It was actually on my 3rd birthday, so it was January 20th, 1986. So it was 40 years ago this year, which means that people who were like really old enough to really remember it are damn near in AARP. Right. So it's not quite as bad as the Jets in 69, but it's getting there. Like it's the same thing. For all intents, the Bears had never won one. And then up against Jacksonville, who are actually the biggest losers in the history of loserdom in the NFL, would be really fun. That'd be a really, really fun Super Bowl. Trevor Lawrence and Caleb Williams, who both have incredible amounts of haters.
Yes, they do.
Both having to just eat crow on every side.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really good. There's pass catchers everywhere on those teams.
Yeah.
2 great offensive minds.
Yep.
I think that'd be a really, really fun Super Bowl. Also, given some of my playoff best ball teams, if I could get a couple of them into the finals with that Super Bowl matchup, I'm winning a yacht.
What are you going to do with your yacht?
Probably play video games.
You're just gonna park it and hang out there
on the Amalfi Coast.
We need no gas.
Just playing Football Manager on the yacht.
That's a
They're
life.
going to get authentic Italian 3 times a day. Maybe that might be what I do. Scott, anything else you wanted to hit on before we get out of here?
No. What else is there to talk about? There's all kinds of stuff to talk about, but none of it good. So I'm moving on.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely the Trump administration all but guaranteeing the start of World War III is something major. Good job. Good vote, everybody. Well done for voting for no new wars. You just voted in most likely World War III.
I have an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old. Yeah.
Good news is...
I know that's super narcissistic to think of it like that.
That is not narcissistic at all, especially if you're Vietnam. There is nothing narcissistic about that at all. Like, not, I mean, diagnosably, casually, not even in the slightest. I was 18 on 9/11. My mom was basically like, if they try to draft you, you're moving to Canada, right?
Can you imagine, given what we saw with COVID, can you imagine a draft happening?
No, and the good news is
I
don't think we would ever need to have a draft for overseas military service. I think that we might see a spike in volunteers from roles that would need to be drafted here in the States. Like, we might see people being drafted to be EMTs, right? You have to take 2 years off of college to go be a full-time EMT because all the EMTs are now war medics, that sort of thing. I don't think that while there are still so much living memory of Vietnam, we could pull off a draft again. And nor do I think we'd have to, like, just logistically. But
yeah,
this invasion of Venezuela is a green light to China to make a play for Taiwan. And for a whole host of reasons I'm not going to get into now because we're wrapping up, the United States and Japan will be forced correctly to defend Taiwan. And it's going to pop off. We cannot just, like, we could more easily just cede Ukraine to Russia than we could ever cede Taiwan to China.
Did you see the Fiona Hill stuff where she's talking about that?
No.
That's exactly what she's talked about, and this is a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And she's over the last couple of days followed up like, this is exactly what I was telling you they were talking about years ago is we get Ukraine, you get Venezuela, we stay in our hemisphere, you stay in yours, kind of a thing. It makes you wonder. It's strange.
The problem is that the United States can't just stay in hemispheres. We are tied globally to everybody. So that is, even if the United States wanted to agree to that, that would be too damaging to the United States itself. Like, we would need, that'd be such a revolutionary, fundamental change to our society that we would need to go over that slowly, enter agreements slowly, really think things out. We couldn't just up and do it, because if we just leave Asia to China, bad things for South Korea and the Philippines and Japan are really bad for us, like for the everyday American, right? So we can't just do that. So something bad in Poland is bad for us, right?
Yeah.
So we can't just do that. You can make the argument that taking control of Venezuela could be beneficial to the everyday American, right? We can exploit them in a way that is beneficial to us in our day-to-day lives. That's not a reason to do it, but you can make that argument. But ceding Asian influence to China will have really dire consequences, just as an average American person. And so we cannot and would not let that happen. And Japan can't either. And Japan and the United States would have to engage in war with China in defense of Taiwan.
Yeah, it's a horrendous thought.
But I fear with the Venezuela stuff. So one thing is that China can only invade Taiwan like April and October, basically, when the South China Sea has to be right.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at Republicans getting hammered, obliterated in the midterms in 2026, and China saying, you know what?
Now's the time.
Now's the time, because they are going to fall out of power completely in 2028, and they're going to get Gretchen Whitmer or some other person with a backbone in there who will actually stand up and actually like respond. If we're going to fight them, we want to fight these morons, right? If we're going to fight the Department of War, we want Pete Hegseth in charge and not whatever real general the next president's going to put in there. In April 2027, it pops.
I hope not. I worry though, but what's there to say? There's nothing to say.
Yeah, it's definitely a worrying thing. Like, I actually never thought up until the last presidential election that China would actually make a military move for Taiwan. I thought it would be all diplomatic. Like, they would just force the ROC to recognize the PROC as the full official government of mainland China, that they would recognize Taiwanese independence, and like they broker a deal that way. But once the doors open, I don't see a diplomatic clean way out of this anymore because of the Venezuela stuff.
Yeah, and it's so you hear, last thing for me, you hear the push from the way Stephen Miller talked yesterday about essentially, I mean, he was talking about Greenland like this too, but like the idea of, hey, we have the might to do it. Who's going to tell us no? That's it's an incredibly I don't know. I mean, it's just such a strange way of thinking about things. Like, you have the might to do it, so go ahead and do it. That's kind of been a problem all over the world since the history of time.
You know what we call people in modern times who think like that and speak like that?
I'll call them a lot of things. What do you got?
Terrorists.
Pretty much.
To me, there's no fundamental difference between what we did in Venezuela and what happened in 9/11 here. Like you violate the sovereignty of another country to try to make a point because you can.
Because you can. Yeah.
Because you can.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's essentially what he said, was that we can, and we did. So, eat shit is kind of what he came across like. And it's wow.
And I'm not even an anti-regime change person. Like, if all of a sudden in Iran there's a huge revolution and they want a liberal democracy, I'm all for sending weapons and money and training, and the CIA helping and feeding intelligence to the rebels, like 100%. I like anybody who doesn't have the chance to like choose their leaders right now. If they want to fight for that right, I choose supporting them.
Yeah, but your perspective is with the people there.
Right.
It's not by saying we're going to allow you people to do these things and we're going to come up behind you and take everything that you've got.
Right. Like, yeah. Nor do I expect to be able to exploit them in the future for doing so. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a different perspective in the world. It just is. And, I don't know. I fear for what my kids are going to have to deal with. I really do. I mean, I know that's an easy thing for people to say, but like, it's legit. I mean, it's not just something to say, just to sound cute. It's not.
Well, the good news is that timelines like this, stretches of time like this, in between old worlds and between new worlds when monsters arise, tend to only last a couple decades.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that within our lifetimes, we will even see a United States that we want to see. And so definitely then in your kids' lifetimes.
Yeah.
In your grandkids' lifetimes. Right. Like, I think that like the America of the 1910s when World War I started sucked. Robber barons and Jim Crow and the Klan, and like women couldn't vote. And then America of 1975 was way better.
Yeah.
And then, but I would say that America of 1949 was even way better, right? So I'm hopeful that we are in the mid to late 1930s part right now, that the war that's coming doesn't end up being as catastrophically devastating and more decisive more quickly. And honestly, either way, I'd rather the United States lose quickly and spare a bunch of misery and suffering everywhere than to win a long, protracted, drawn out, millions and millions and millions and millions of people dead confrontation. So I'm hopeful that, it's a 6-month flurry of some hot action, some cyber attacks,
Well, I think it's going to be a really
couple major
awful.
naval sea battles where both
Jesus.
sides
Are you
realize.
Are you hearing the noise over here at all? Have you heard any noises?
No.
Oh my God. The dog. We have the dog's 120 pounds. She is the entire show. She has just been ripping ass the entire time. And I mean, like, it's been a couple times where it scared me. Like, what the hell is that? Are you good? She's just ripping ass. She's sleeping. I don't know why that she just interrupted. Okay. Do you know who Hunter Thompson is?
Of course.
Okay. There's a quote of his, and it's so perfect for where we are. And the condescension is a little bit much, but like, it's perfect. So he says, "We are living in dangerously weird times now. Smart people just shrug and admit they're dazed and confused. The only ones left with any confidence at all are the new dumb. It is the beginning of the end of our world as we knew it. Doom is the operative ethic." I think he wrote this in like 2003 range.
Yeah.
But that couldn't possibly describe our society any better right now.
Well, yes, because by the time he wrote it, it had been true in our society for about 25 years.
Sure. Yeah. And he, as an old man, was seeing it. But it's like,
yeah,
the people who are most sure about everything right now confuse me, because I am definitely one of the people who is just stumbling around here, just constantly questioning, like, what the hell's really happening? I do it all the time. So I am definitely one of those dazed and confused people, whether that's good or bad. I have no idea.
Yes.
But like, I don't know what to make of any of this stuff. I just know that it is, there's a lot of painful things happening, and there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if you saw the stuff in Minnesota today.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Horrific.
Yeah. And we're going to argue. Those of us on one side are going to argue about it, and everybody on the other side is going to say that she should have just did what the ICE people were saying. And
no, she shouldn't have. ICE does not have jurisdiction over American citizens.
They don't have any authority to have her do anything. So, like,
correct.
But that's the problem, is that, our realities are so juxtaposed by whatever it is. And it's going to make this year, whatever happens, it's going to be really chaotic and frenzied, because we don't live in the same realities anymore. Half the country, or whatever you want to call it, 40%, the 40-40-20 thing. I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying all this shit, because it's going to get me in trouble at some point in time. But
I don't think it will. Like, you don't say anything too crazy. And I don't say anything too crazy on here. But, no, I'm just hopeful that probably when the United States, Japan, and China go to war over Taiwan, it resolves quickly with Taiwanese independence, as few civilian casualties as possible for something like that, and as few casualties for combatants as possible for something like that. Like, I need both powers to recognize that they're fighting to a draw, even with conventional weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
and to quickly pull back and not get ego stuck in and whatever. Right. And then maybe that could quickly force the People's Republic of China recognizes Taiwanese independence. Taiwan recognizes that the Communist Party has control of mainland China. Because honestly, they do. Give it up.
They do.
You lost.
Yeah.
You lost. Right. So recognize that. China gives that up there, pay some indemnities back and forth. Maybe Japan gets full control of those tiny little islands that they and China are fighting over. And just realize this is not going to work. And maybe it can actually be a lesson going forward that the big powers can't fight each other, even conventionally. Nobody will win.
So that's the thing I wonder about. And nobody really knows. It's back to the nobody knows shit about anything kind of a conversation. But I don't think Russia looks to be one of those powers anymore.
No, there's only two.
They are.
There's only two. There's only two.
China and the United States.
Yeah.
So the fact that Russia gets Ukraine out of this deal makes me wonder, like, in the big picture, what's really happening. But like, the idea of that, of what you're detailing out happening and how unreal that could be very quickly, is something that probably should keep us up at night a little bit.
I don't think this April is that likely. I could see this October if China wants to try to help Republicans stay in power by having a war start right before the elections, because there tends to be a rally around the flag effect, and they might want to keep the morons in power for as long as they can. I could see them trying to do something like that.
Have you seen what you said, morons? Blazing Saddles?
I haven't, but I've heard it's really funny.
It is funny. Could never get made today, but the way that Gene Hackman's describing the average town folk to the sheriff, and he's like, the average every day, whatever in this town, morons. It's great.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. But then again, I think about as the Republican numbers dwindle in Congress, they lost some. There was a man who passed away 2 days ago, a Republican, right? So the numbers are their majority is dwindling. I think they have maybe a 2 vote.
It's a 5 vote. It's 218 to 213.
Right, but if they lose 2 and Massey votes the way he's been voting,
there
is no right. So it's really it's kind of like a 2. It's 2 right now, and if you lose another one, you know what I mean? Like, you're down to 1. It's just, if impeachment becomes a thing, that's a perfect opportunity for there to be upheaval. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the United States was an aggressor in certain scenarios, trying to keep themselves in power. I don't know. I know that sounds conspiratorial, but it's a little bit. We've seen what's happened on October 7th. I don't think it's
conspiratorial to think that the most craven, power-hungry people will do anything they can to stay in power.
I don't think it is either, but
the exact specifics may be a little conspiratorial, but the idea of it certainly is not. Okay, so we've got Bears, Jaguars in the Super Bowl, which means World War III is imminent.
We just need to let Clev know that we put all of his money he earned this year on the Trevor Lawrence is the Super Bowl MVP, buddy. Oh man.
Oh, he would. I think we'd actually have him I'd have him tweet at Trevor Lawrence and apologize. At that point.
Yeah.
That'd be
we all
amazing.
got that coming.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you folks for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week to review these the games that happened this week and preview the divisional round. We'll have some more clarity on what's going to happen at that point. Scott, anything else?
No, we're good. Have a good night.
All right. Everybody, peace.